morning. These are your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Jill Clary. The Church History Museum of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will hold its annual Pioneer Fair this Saturday in Salt Lake City. The museum will celebrate its 1847 arrival of the Saints with pioneers from the museum's Living History Museum. There will also be musicians, storytellers, and craftsmen such as a blacksmith. You can watch the blacksmith learn the Deseret alphabet at the museum's schoolhouse. You can also search the museum and Temple Square for pieces of pioneer heritage to barter for sweets at the Trading Post. The fair is Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and admission is free. A BYU-Idaho IT portfolio manager addressed BYU-Idaho students about Facing Zion in Tuesday's devotional. Jared Boyder gave his address entitled Facing Zion in an effort to uplift students and help them know of the importance of unity and working to build up where they currently stand.
Together, let us examine the faith of those who have gone before us, the principles that define Zion, and the steps each of us can take here in Rexburg, in our homes, to lift where we stand and to build a community of holiness that reflects the glory of our Redeemer.
In an interview with BYU-Idaho Radio, Boyder said that from the beginning, Rexburg and its residents worked to build Zion. He said that work to become one is still relevant today. He said it is hardship that brought them together.
So the fun thing about Rexburg and the Zion being built here is the deep culture and its roots of where it came from. It was settled by pioneers, by LDS pioneers. And so right from the start, they had this underlying culture to help each other, because they went through a lot of hardships in life, from financial hardships to environmental hardships, and in the Teton Dam flood. And each time it challenged them to come together and to help take care of each other. So I think it's been fun to watch Rexburg in that you go to these fantastic wards, and there's always an underlying culture of people wanting to help each other. They want to be something more than what they are today, and they do it genuinely.
Boyder said he continues to see this care in the way people of Rexburg help each other. He added that he feels the overall message he got when writing his devotional is that God loves all his children.
Underlying message from all my impressions was just how much God loves his children. He loves all of them so much. He loves each one. And each one, he wants to become their best. And that's the underlying message I got from my talk was it's about personal progression. But as we do so, we will naturally come together as a community.
To learn more about Jared Boyder's devotional, listen to the full interview on BYU-Idaho Radio's podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. To listen to Boyder's devotional, you can visit BYU-Idaho Radio's podcast or visit BYU-Idaho Speeches page and select devotionals. BYU-Idaho is recording yet another record-breaking number of students enrolling this fall, leaving some students wondering if they will be able to find student-approved housing. Austin Pace has the story.
BYU-Idaho is going on 25 years as a university and is seeing incredible growth, with a 25,000 projected student enrollment this fall, an increase of 9% compared to last year.
It looks like we have another record-breaking group of incoming students this fall. The surge highlights the remarkable nature of BYU-Idaho. With this exciting growth comes a real challenge. Approved single housing is nearly full, but it's not gone. To our male students, about 500 spaces remain. Now's the time to clear your holds, register, and secure your housing. To our female students, options are very tight, but housing contracts continue to open up.
BYU-Idaho President Alvin F. Meredith III says the surge of enrollment is exciting for the school. Since President Meredith became president in 2023, Brett Sampson, the managing director of University Relations, says university is hard at work to show what BYU-Idaho has to offer.
We have worked with President Meredith in University Relations, University Communications, to go around the country to put as many messages and campaigns out there about what happens at BYU-Idaho, the quality education it has, on top of its mission to develop disciples of Jesus Christ.
This also brings to light a shift in momentum across the other church educational system institutions, showing young adults are choosing faith-based learning in greater numbers than before. Deseret News reports that this fall, a record total of 117,204 students are enrolled by colleges and universities sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There are more students enrolled this semester than were attending classes at this time last year at each of the CES schools. But it also brings a serious challenge for for students like Ellie Butler, who are looking for approved student housing. Butler is an incoming freshman who is looking to study nutrition at BYU-Idaho. After recently returning from her mission in Louisiana, she has struggled to find housing options.
I got off my mission almost 2 months ago, and so I remember trying to coordinate things with friends that were home or things like that, but with mission rules, I couldn't message them on Messenger, and it's just harder to get in contact with people. And so it was kind of okay, you know what, I'll get home in May. There's still a lot of time till fall. I'm sure things will be fine if I get home and then kind of get on it. And now it's kind of okay, well, everything's filled, and I know that I'm not the only one with that problem finding housing.
The record-breaking enrollment is bringing in a higher demand for student housing. A news release from BYU-Idaho says the school is expanding housing tools, increasing communications, and exploring both immediate and long-term support for impacted students. Sampson says the school is working closely with local property owners to do just that.
This increase in enrollment over the last 2 years has happened at such an accelerated rate, it's happened a little quicker than people could build for. And understandably, they're also a little bit cautious to build because, again, they don't want to overbuild.
While it may seem there are no housing options now, especially for women, there is still a lot of time until the start of the fall semester. Contracts and plans change, making it important to stay up to date with those changes.
The best answer to how students who are wrestling with finding a place to live for fall semester in particular would be to call the housing office, or even better, the BSC, or the BYU-Idaho Support Center. That number is 208-496-1411. They're able to talk with a student about their situation and even work with them on such things as holds, options for housing, get them to the right place and get them on the right waiting lists and lists generally. So they'll have the most resources.
Transferring your contract as a student is oftentimes a hefty task with the transfer fee. But Sampson said the school is ready to help students with that too.
We recognize that that's a little bit discouraging, but we want to be able to help them by giving them some credit to use for that transfer fee to cover it if they are in fact interested in transferring or selling their contract to somebody else.
Campus experience packages are also available for students with family in Rexburg. The packages could include free campus parking passes and various tickets and vouchers to make sure students are still able to connect with students and campus culture, a culture that students like Audrey Curtis crave on campus. Curtis is a sophomore from Grantsville, Utah, studying biochemistry with a minor in business management, who is struggling to find a way to be on campus this fall semester.
All the students on campus are amazing. They all carry that spirit. I live in a small town in Utah, and it's very much a bubble, right? And I'm from Utah, so it's a spiritual bubble. It's a safety place. And Rexburg is also like that. Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to come to BYU-Idaho. I remember my dad telling me about it, my friends' parents talking about it, and it's really encouraged me to go. And I love the people there. I love the people that I've met.
While there may be some who can't quite cross housing off their list of to-dos for the coming fall semester, President Meredith gave his advice to those students.
Be proactive, join the housing office wait list, and reach out directly to apartment complexes you're considering to be added to their wait list, and share this information with other students. If you have questions or need more information, please contact the BYU-I Support Center. There's still hope and more options are coming. We're excited for an incredible fall semester with each of you.
For updates and housing resources, visit byui.edu/housing or call BYU-Idaho Support Center at 208-496-1411. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Austin Pace.
These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for July 16th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. Have a great day. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Jill Clary.